Shalom Aleichem. We're starting new, we're continuing, as a matter of fact, the second part that's called Holy Food. And we're going to be talking about Tisha B'Av B'ezrat Hashem. Last time we talked, we explained what is food spiritually. What are the roots and the reasons why we eat. You might say, okay, yeah, we have a body, we have to feed it. That's only surface reason. But what's the deep root of eating? And we said that because first Adam HaRishon, first man, sinned, and all the souls that were in him fell down to the places where the snake is, the evil side. And the reason we eat, really, and the reason why we're living and eating is Ad 120, is because we have to get out the sparks of the holy sparks that are in the food and bring them back up and make a correction of what first man did. Now there is there is 4 parts to food. Food comes from inert, salt, for example, comes from tzomeach, plants, comes from animals. Actually 3 parts, sorry. Okay. The inert, how do we eat inert? How do we correct the sparks that are in the domem, in the inert? So we add salt to our food, and also sometimes there is a little sand that we eat without noticing it. For example, we might eat a cucumber or a fruit or something like that, and there might be some sand in there. It's not by accident that we eat. There's nothing going on in the world by accident, but we don't understand, so we think it's an accident. Mikre is makor ya. Everything comes from Hashem. There's no accidents in this life. Just have to learn to see what are the purposes of all these accidents that occur to us. Okay, so sometimes we eat sand, and that sand doesn't come by accident. We eat it so that we can raise the holy sparks in that sand. If you tell me, well, then we don't eat so much sand. We're not sitting and eating spoons of sand every day. How do we correct that? We correct that, believe it or not, by walking. When a Jew walks, a Jew that keeps Torah mitzvot, walks in Eretz Israel, or even in the United States, wherever he is, and there's sparks of life that are in that sand, sometimes he might want to go to a certain street. All of a sudden he sees that he forgot where the street is, and he starts walking another way, to a place where he never even knew. That's also not an accident. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put it in his head to go to another place, and there is a correction to be done on that sand where he's walking. When he walks there, especially if he's thinking about Torah, or he's talking Torah, and he's close to Hashem, the sparks of life that are in that sand go up, and they are being corrected. Plants, we eat salads, we eat fruits, everything that grows. On that part, we have to notice the colors of the fruits and the vegetables that we eat. I have a lecture about colors, so I'll just mention a little bit about colors. We know that Chesed, which is the mercy side of the Sfirot, is white. That's why you see that all milk in the world, from all animals, it's always white. You never seen like green milk. It's always white. Why? Because the intrinsic force that's inside that food, which is white, which is milk, is chesed. That's mercy. That's complete chesed. It's a giving side. So we see foods that are milk, all the foods that are white, they have this mercy. That's the force of positive. And they're good for certain parts of the neshama, for certain parts of the body. Calcium, for example. Bones that are white, they need milk, they need cheese, need white. Just like they're white, we need to eat white milk, cheeses, dairy stuff to strengthen or to bring out the nitzotzot of that food, the nitzotzot, which is the holy sparks. On the other hand, there is foods that are red, tomatoes, for example. Why is it red? Because the inside of the tomato has the force of gvura. Gvura is the, how do we say it in English? Gvura will be the force of stopping, the force of taking in. What I'm taking for myself. I'm not giving. The opposite of giving. And that is important to eat, especially in the winter, because that food has fire in it. That's why you see foods that are black or white, or red, they can grow in the winter when it's cold. Why? They don't need even so much sunlight, because they have inside the force of gvura, which is fire. They're hot, and they can grow in the winter. Even if it's snowing and if it's cold and freezing, they're growing because of the gvura that's inside them. And of course the balance, which is the greens. Greens are very important to eat. They balance the whole body. Green leaves, cucumbers, whatever is green. That's the balance between the force of the mercy and the force of the gvura. And they balance the body. That's from the side of Tiferet. That's why it's very important to eat greens. Also, about ourselves. Look how complicated things are and how deep they are. The Kadosh Baruch Hu made everything with so deep and so beautiful, such beautiful reasons for each one of us to enjoy life and to be healthy. If a person, we have 4 elements inside us, which is mayim, water, ruach, wind, air, afar, earth, and esh, which is fire. Each one of us has a predominant element in him. You see, for example, people that are very, very active, they can't sit in one place. They have a hard time learning. They have to do things all the time. They have to act. They don't want to talk so much. They just want to act, do things. What's going on? Why are they like that? It's because the element of fire in them is predominant. That's why you see them usually they don't have too much patience. They just want to act. They want to be in action all day long. The predominant fire is in them. That's fire. On the other hand, so for them, for example, to eat things with fire will not balance them. They have to eat things from side of the chesed, which from the water side, to balance their character. That's why it's very, very hard to advise a person what to eat. We think that there is a rule to everything, but no. Everybody is different. Each one is built different spiritually, bodily. The thumb, you see the signs, the thumbprint of each one, of billions of people, each one is different. Just think about how much wisdom in this world. So each one here, billions of people are walking, each one is different. Because of that, they have to eat certain things for them that will benefit them. For example, fire people, they need the water. They need the air. People that are very lazy, their predominant element in them is afar, earth. All they want to do is relax. They don't want to run around. They want to sit, lie, sleep. They're looking for convenience all day long. They are the first ones to run to the rocking chair. They're looking for convenience. They don't want to move much. They need things to move them. So they need fire food. These people. There's people that are air. The air predominantly, the element is there is air. They talk. They love to talk. They want to talk all day long. You see them talking. They need other foods. What am I missing? Water. People that are from water, they have desires. They are strong in desires, ta'avot. Where the predominant element is water, that's the type of people they are. And of course, I'm just giving you the four extremes. Nobody is exactly what I'm saying because there's combinations of this. Might have somebody who is fire, at the same time he's got water. So he has like the two opposite traits in him. All these people need different foods. When we come and say, this is the one, this is what everybody has to eat, there's basic food everybody has to eat, right? But specifically for each one has a different character, different traits, different neshama. Each one needs something else to eat. The same thing with healing, the same thing. You know, something might heal somebody and the same stuff will not heal another one. But it's not that simple. There's another route to what I'm saying, and that's the main route. What is that? Mitzvot. How does that react with food? We have to know one thing. A person might eat the most amazing food, holistic food, only greens, only this, only that, and every day it changes, of course, from all the different professors. You know, there's opinions about everything, and there's not one opinion about one thing. Why? Because we're different. And that's why every time another invention comes in, and another food comes in, and this is what you have to eat, and this is what you don't have to eat, because they try to bring us all to one level, and it won't help, because each one of us is different. That's why many times a person himself knows what's good for him. And nobody else will know that. Even the biggest doctor will not dream that this is what you have to eat and what is what you have to do. But if a person knows himself, he'll know what to eat. He'll know what to do with himself. That's self-knowledge. That takes time. It takes a lot of time, and you have to be in a tranquil place to think about yourself and to see yourself and to see how you act and to start observing yourself, to know what you have to eat, what you have to do with your body, what you have to do with your soul, how to get close to Hashem in your way. Let's go back to what I said. Mitzvot. Since food there's nothing in this world that's completely good. People are looking for the purest food there is. There's no such thing. Everything in this world is mixed. Bad and good. Bad and good. Since this first, since the sin of first man, everything is mixed. The good is mixed with the bad. Why is it like that? Because Hashem wants us to choose. This is why we're here. So that's why everything is mixed, good and bad. If a person wants the good things, which is mitzvot, doing Hashem's work, he'll choose the good. He wants his body need, his body pleasures, and if thinking only about himself without thinking about other people or about Hashem, that's another route. And there are consequences for each route that a person takes. If he's blessing, then that food, the evil thing that's in that food, which is the klipot, shells, that are mixed with the good things, the good sparks in the food, will just let the sparks go out, and that food will go, and those sparks will go to the right place to be corrected. It's a beautiful thing. But if another person eats and he doesn't bless, the shells, the klipot, the evil side, goes inside him. And that can cause, lo alechem, Hashem yishmor, sickness. Because he is bringing inside himself impurities. And all this goes to the soul. And the result of those impurities from the soul go to the physical part, which is the body, which is the exterior part of the soul, if you can say that. And then there are sicknesses. So you might ask me, well, you see a lot of tzaddikim that are sick? Yeah. We don't know what are the cheshbonot, what are the calculations of each one of us with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There might be people that tzaddikim, but in different reincarnations, they did some things, they came here to correct, maybe they didn't correct what they have to correct, and at the same time they have to have a correction of Chas v'Shalom lo alenu, al Am Yisrael rak briut. Maybe he has to be sick so that he can do tshuva, so he can get closer to the Hashem. Maybe he's doing something that he doesn't realize, and that sickness gives him thoughts. Why is he sick? He's asking himself. Maybe I did something wrong. And that sickness is, if we can say, a process of the good, which brings him to realize that maybe he's sinning. How does it work? If a person sins with his eyes, person who is married, I know it might sound to a lot of people extreme, but that's what Torah says. If he's looking at other women, Chas v'Shalom, and he's married, why is he looking over there? A Torah forbids it, because looking brings thoughts, and thoughts can bring to action. And I don't want to continue with that. If so, he might have, that person, problems with his eyes, because Hashem will correct him with that thing, because he wants him to come to him pure. If he's listening to Lashon Hara all day long, he might have, Chas v'Shalom, lo alenu, problems with his ears. If he's talking Lashon Hara, he might have problems with his mouth. If he's doing things with his hand where he shouldn't be doing, stealing or whatever it is. So everything, you get the point. Everything is midah keneged midah. Whatever that sin is, that exactly, the correction is exactly where that sin is. Why is it like this? Is it bad? No. We don't want Chas v'Shalom sicknesses. We don't want to sin. Of course, we want to do mitzvot. We want to bless. We want to be the closest to Hashem that we can. But all this is alerts. My son, you have to correct. Where? Your ears. Why do you think you have all of a sudden ear infection? I don't want to go more than that. Why? Maybe you have to pay attention to what you're listening to. Eyes, same thing. Mouth. And so on and so on and so on. Till we'll get to, so nobody will get to the heavy sicknesses. Yeah? Like, the non-disease and all that. That's already heavier alarms. We shouldn't know from that. Nobody. And that's also a reason for a person to awaken. And after that, if a person goes to the other world, the reason that is the process of going to the other world is not a very pleasant process. That also corrects him from all the things that he did during his lifetime. So all the pains and all the things and all the problems, it's all for the good. It's all for the correction. It's all indication to us where to correct. That's the main reason why people are sick. Of course, we have a mitzvah to do everything that we can to be healthy. We have to do exercise. We have to burden our body. We have to make it move all the time. Yeah, for sure. Rambam says that specifically. Rambam says not to eat too much, of course. But we see people that are giants, Cassius Clay, boxers, soccer players, dropping 2 seconds in the middle of their soccer, in the soccer game. You see him, he's like huge guy, muscles. He ate all the right things. They have special nutritionists that are there to tell them how much to eat, where to eat, what to eat, what not to eat. And he drops. This guy has heart failure. Yeah, because it all starts from the spiritual. That's why when we eat and when we talk about food and all the physical parts that we do, we have to know the root of everything is spiritual and the manifestation is physical. It's not the physical the physical is only maybe 1% from all the reasons. It's good to do it, whatever. But the root inside is spiritual. That's the secret of everything that we do, which is material. Food, especially. Be'ezrat Hashem, I wanted to talk about Tisha B'Av, but time is very, very tight. I'll just say one thing. We're now in a correction time, Be'ezrat Hashem, till Sunday, which is Tisha B'Av, 9th of Av. What happened in 9th of Av? The temple was destroyed, the 2 temples, and there's many, many things that happened, the Inquisition, Second World War, everything started on that date. What does Hashem want us to know from 9 Tisha B'Av? The Torah tells us specifically, the temple was destroyed because we didn't have love for each other. See, it's not only important to learn Torah, but you have to learn Torah with your heart. With your heart. The brain is very important, of course, we have to understand what we're learning. But really, really, to live Torah, you need heart. You need the heart to function right. You have to bring everything from the Torah to the heart. When the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, you have to love the other person like you love yourself. That's not a thinking process. That's a feeling process. You have to feel that. I can have it in theory, yeah, love each other, beautiful. But do I feel that? When I see another Jew, do I feel anything about him? When he comes, any Jew comes near me, I say him, good morning, how you doing? Toda rabba, sorry. But these are also could be exterior words from manners. No. I'm talking about manners. Yeah, it's good to do. Thank you. Sorry. But the sorry has to be from inside. The thank you has to be from inside the heart. The shalom has to be from inside the heart. I'm talking about myself. It's a very, very we're like in a very selfish world. Very, very selfish world. The whole Western society is all selfish. It's all talking about you and you and you and you and what can you do for you. And the Torah is exactly the opposite. What can we do for the other person? Be'ezrat Hashem, let's open our hearts for our fellow Jews. Let's suffer with them, be happy with them. Whatever they are in, I have to feel them, I have to help them. Whatever I can do for the other person, for the other Jew, I should do. Whether it's money, whether it's feelings, whether it's words, advice, whatever we can do, we have to do. That will, Be'ezrat Hashem, bring the temple, the 3rd temple to us, and then we'll be in a world that's everlasting good. Thank you very much.